On this news review, Iran's permanent representative to the UN has lashed out at U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo for considering Washington as a party to the Iran nuclear deal. Majid Takhtarevanchi said the U.S. is no more a signatory to the deal since President Donald Trump withdrew from the agreement in 2018. The reaction came after Pompeo described the U.S. as, quote, a participant in the 2015 nuclear deal. The U.S. Secretary of State also said that Washington would use all means available to extend a UN arms embargo on Iran that expires in October. Diplomatic sources say a U.S. drafted resolution to extend the arms ban has been given to Britain, France, and Germany that are remaining signatories to the Iran nuclear deal. The ban on selling conventional weapons to Iran ends on October the 23rd under Security Council Resolution 2231, which endorsed the 2015 nuclear deal between Tehran and world powers. On this news review, we have editor of Politics First, Marcus Papadopoulos, joining us from London. Also, we have journalist and commentator James Tweedy joining us from Plymouth. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Let's start off with Mr. Papadopoulos. Marcus, it's tough to track the U.S.'s inconsistency here when we're looking at the JCPOA. They're in, they're out, they want to make decisions, they terminate their accession to it. How do you see the recent comments and recent measures being taken from the United States?
For Mike Pompeo to assert that America remains a signatory to the Iran nuclear deal is not only tenuous, but is also fanciful, because America did withdraw from the JCPOA in 2018, and it did so in writing. Secondly, after having left the JCPOA, Washington imposed sanctions on Iran, sanctions which are strictly prohibited under the terms and conditions of the JCPOA. So on that basis, America doesn't have a legal leg to stand on in arguing that it still remains a party to the Iran nuclear deal. And I might also pose this question: why is it only 2 years on after America left the JCPOA that Washington is now making the ridiculous argument that it is still a party to the JCPOA? Well, I would submit that one reason is because this autumn the embargo on conventional arms to Iran expires, and by America claiming that it is still a party to the Iran nuclear deal, it is a way for it to put pressure on the other remaining signatories to the deal, the British, the Germans, the French, and the Russians. But then that is a most unrealistic prospect, especially when it comes to the Russians. But I would also make this contention. I believe that the reason why the Americans are now claiming they are still a signatory to the JCPOA is because the Americans have seen that 2 years on after America having withdrawn from the deal, although it is extremely impaired by America having withdrawn, has continued to limp on. And I strongly suspect that in 2018, the Trump administration truly believed that after it withdrew from the JCPOA, the deal would collapse. But as I said, the deal continues to limp on. So I believe that the Americans now, 2 years on, are attempting to say they remain a party to the deal as a way of trying to put maximum pressure on the British, the French, and the Germans to scupper the deal once and for all. Because 2 years on, the deal is still in force.
James Tweedy, give us your thoughts on the legality of the United States having any say in this nuclear agreement, which is officially no longer a party to. And also, do you agree with some of the comments that were also alluded to by Marcus Papadopoulos that the U.S. is trying to pile some pressure on the European signatories at this point?
Well, the deal is something of a dead letter at this point because since the US and the three Western European signatories have either pulled out or are not, Britain, France, and Germany are not really complying with the deal. They're putting caveats on their cooperation. So, and so Iran has also withdrawn from most of the terms of it. So it's kind of a dead letter at this moment, but certainly the US is not part of it anyway, as Marcus pointed out. And essentially what they're doing at this point is trying to maintain control over the process. The US is, the aims here, the US has a long-term regime change strategy. In Iran, that hasn't changed with changing governments in Washington. And the Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif referred to this in his tweet a couple of days ago about this, about Pompeo's comment. The other thing that the US is trying to do is control the oil supply in the world, the whole world's oil supply. When the deal was made, I think the US, given the timing of it, the US motivation was to try and increase oil supplies and world oil supply and drive down costs as part of an economic war against certain countries like Venezuela and Russia. Now, since then, the US has become a net exporter of oil, but this isn't necessarily significant, but perhaps they're trying to make it more difficult, more expensive for China to do business and produce goods. So, these are the US's motivations here. Talking about arms is I think that's a red herring, because the important arms that threaten US military hegemony in the Middle East are Iran's ballistic missiles, which it makes at home, and its missile boats, fast missile boats, which are produced in Iran and mount missiles which are imported from China, and China and Russia are very unlikely to go along with US arms sanctions on, arms embargo on Iran. So that's a red herring. And, of course, Donald Trump always said that he wanted to negotiate a new deal with terms that are more acceptable to the US. But to do that, the US must offer something more in return to Iran, and it is not doing that. And the kind of brinksmanship, which is, a trademark of the Trump administration, that kind of military brinksmanship, sailing ships around close to Iranian waters and so forth, warships, is not necessarily going to work with Iran, is it?
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Journalist and commentator James Tweedy joining us from Plymouth. Also, thanks to Marcus Papadopoulos, editor of Politics First, speaking to us from London. And with that, it brings us to an end here on this edition of the News Reviews. But do stay tuned. There's plenty of news to come.